All right. Welcome to a late edition of Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. Yes, we are coming to you at a special time. And we will always be coming to you right after the last playoff game ends. If that's hopefully that'll work out for everybody. Let's go to rules for the rule breakers. Now remember, Sports Therapy is a show where callers will get 2 minutes to call in and rip, rant, kick some knowledge about all things NFL. We roll live on Facebook and YouTube. And the number to call is always 940-329-4110. As you can see, I am decked out from head to toe in the standard uniform, augmented by the cool beard along with the NFL hat and the logo that simplified that I am as neutral as Switzerland. On our show, we don't talk politics. Man, I don't give a fat rat's butt what the Republicans are doing, nor do I care what the Democrats are doing. We don't talk race relations. Man, all are welcome to attend, and we don't talk sexual orientation. Man, what you do is you. We accept everybody. As long as you are a fan of NFL football, you are a fan of the show. And our show is always sponsored by Crown Royal. Yes, patiently blending since 1939. Yes. Now let's jump into the show, brothers and sisters. Playoffs. I'm not kidding you. The playoffs. Wow. All I can say is, man, I just got through watching the Chiefs take care of the Bills. Now, my heart was kind of leaning toward the Bills a little bit because, remember, for those of us who've been watching football for a minute, now the Bills have been to the Super Bowl, was it 4 times? And each time that they lost, I kind of wanted to see the Bills get there. But when you're large and in charge, man, you know they call you Chief. How about them Chiefs? Also, hopefully my brother who's a big time Raven fan. I'm sure we'll be getting my boy Brandon will be calling in. Hopefully we'll hear from my homeboy Glenn who will put a summation on all the games. Keep in mind now we start watching the game Saturday and then they roll over into the day. Now, Cowboy fans, now I know you all are feeling real bad about your loss. But you are trying to justify your loss by saying, well, we hope Green Bay, if Green Bay goes on and beat the 49ers, then it'll make it look like, well, the beatdown that we took at Jerry World wasn't as so bad because Green Bay was a good team. Now, granted, they were and are a good team, but come on now. Come on. That has nothing to do with the beatdown that you guys received. We are down to 4 teams. There are 4 teams standing. We got the Ravens. Hold on, man. I'm going to jump right in here, brothers and sisters. Sports Therapy. Sports Therapy.
F.H. Jr., how's it going?
Man.
F.H. Jr., can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear hear you, boy?
I can hear you loud and clear. My brother.
Hey, it's your boy. It's Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire, and I just want to let everybody know. I told y'all who the best player in the league was a long time ago, and I said during the game, the first half is going to be ugly because our starters ain't played in almost 3 weeks. But after we went into halftime and we got our mojo going, bruh, hey, look, I'm going to just say salute to the Texans. C.J. Stroud's going to be a great player. D'Amico Ryans is a great coach. But it's not your time, youngin'. It's not your time.
Hey, man, to the victor goes the spoils, brother.
But I would also like to say the kicker for the Buffalo Bills, somebody needs to watch that man 24/7.
Yes. He had one job. He had one job. One job, bruh. One job. That is to go and kick a field goal. That's all. That's all his
I'm,
contract says. Kick. One job, and he couldn't do that.
hey, look, I don't know what's gonna happen when that man gets back to the locker room.
I
I
would.
can't.
I wouldn't go.
I can't predict the future. I can't predict the future.
Hey man, let let
But
let,
what I
let let's transition back to the Ravens versus that team you guys played, Doc. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I sent you a text message during the game, and I said, "Hey, Russ versus Rest," because I was a little bit concerned as to how the Ravens were playing at the beginning. I was like, "Come on, man, what we doing here? What we doing? What we doing?" And there's
but
old.
see, like I said, in the first half, everything was a bit shaky. Everybody had to get back into their mojo, but also keep in mind they scored because of a punt,
Yes.
right? Like it wasn't like their offense was ever moving the ball. Our defense was solid straight out. They scored because of a punt. Now, offensively, I don't know what we were doing. I think it was because we needed to get in the flow, and they were really kicking our offensive lines butt. We were getting pressure on Lamar getting them sacks. But second half, Todd Monken got the play calling right. Everything was in fluid motion, and you see what happened. We started throwing to Likely the tight end more, opened up the offense.
Because I can tell you, man, you all allowed that young team to believe that they can win going into the half, man. Going into halftime, I guarantee you, the Texans were saying, "Hey, we can beat these boys, man. We can beat these. We can play with them."
But excuse me, I'm gonna put it this way: the Texans were on a roll,
Yes.
right? So I would say defensively, D'Amico Ryans had a great scheme. Now, offensively with the Texans, we're one of the few teams that can match up man to man with certain people, and I believe with Hamilton playing at such a high level, and Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, and man, Jadeveon Clowney, man, is coming back to life. It's our defense is so supreme that we're able to take those chances. They putting us in good positions, man. And remember, we didn't even have Marlo Humphrey back.
True.
So I really do think our defense saved us in that first half. And in the second half, man, Lamar Jackson just took over. I would say pound for pound, we're better than the Houston Texans. But as you did say, and you texted me, you can't let these teams hang around.
No.
You can't give these teams hope.
No. Because they had nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose. They were punching above their weight class, and they were feeling good about themselves at halftime. Because now, let me take you back another week prior to yesterday's game. Now, the Ravens. No, I'm sorry. The Texans didn't really go lights out on offense in order to get to the game that they played yesterday. It was a series of lucky bounces because their defense played well, but their offense really wasn't a juggernaut. And my whole thing was thinking that if I'm the Texans, all they were really waiting on or hoping for was that one turnover, that one mistake, that one fumble, that one interception that could allow them to be in the lead or keep them in the game. Because I was thinking the Ravens sooner or later the team was gonna show up, and they showed up at the beginning of the third quarter, and then basically just show little brother why he's still little brother.
Man, it was tough, man. But I knew we were gonna pull it out. As long as we went into halftime and it was tied 0-0. It was 10-10 at halftime, and I knew, okay, we're getting the ball coming out in the second half. But I also knew that was the best we saw the Texans play in that first half.
Yeah.
So I knew that was everything they could have given us.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And Lamar, because I told you, I said, hey, Lamar Jackson is probably the only player now that can beat you by himself or make a difference in a game. But you just had to make sure that now the old Lamar goes full Superman on every play. And sometimes you gotta protect him from himself. But if you can get him to a game like yesterday, where in the second half you need him to go full Superman to pull a game out, and that's what he did. Because what he had like 2 touchdowns in the second half, and just kind of like distributed the ball all around, got everybody involved, and
Hmm.
and I just think next week is going to be a game of games, brother. What say you on that game for next
So,
week, man?
man, Lamar Jackson gets hype whenever he plays Mahomes. He has great games. Now, we got the home field advantage. As everybody knows, man, the past 3 years, like, Pat Mahomes is owned like Josh Allen. And the thing is, it's not because of Josh Allen. It's because the Bills. I'm not gonna say Josh Allen can't get it done. I'm gonna say just the Bills itself. They fold under pressure like
It
that.
seems that way, doesn't it? It seems like it's just mental for them.
And yes, so next week, if I'm looking at the matchups, right? Our defense versus their offense. They don't have a Tyreek Hill. If we're keying in on Travis Kelce, because we can stop the run, we can handle them. We just got to be prepared for Mahomes darting and running that quick tempo. But I think on the other end, the Chiefs, they can't stop our run.
No,
I don't think the Chiefs got anything for us.
no.
Now the Chiefs secondary is good because we don't have that many good receivers. But this is when we're gonna lean on Dalvin Cook more this next game. We're gonna have to establish that run game, just as the Bills did this game. The Bills should have won this game because they kept establishing the run.
Yes.
We're gonna have to establish the run. And every time Lamar has beat Mahomes, he's established the run first.
Yes. Now, let me say this. I think one thing that's gonna weigh in on you guys' favor is that the Chiefs, they are hurting at middle linebacker. They had no answer for that pass right between the safeties and the cornerback and where the linebackers should be, and that's where the Bills were cooking them at. They were cooking them right there and I know a couple of the linebackers went out. One of them went out today, and then they were already short. So I think next week, if you guys come out and play your game, because I do think you got a better defense. And truth be told, Kansas City, they're still not the juggernaut that they were last year and the year before. Their offense is not as explosive. I don't care what anybody says. They miss Tyreek Hill, and to a certain extent, they miss Eric Bieniemy.
They do.
They do, and it's starting to show because there were a couple of plays that. Now let me take you back to this one play that was I call a bonehead play, and I think would have got the coach fired if if Kansas City didn't self-destruct themselves. I'm talking about it's 4th down, and the Bills are 4th down and 5. The Bills are on their own 30, and the coach decided, "Hey, we going for it. We are going for this." And just so happened they didn't make it. And I'm like, dude, you are so fired, brother. If y'all lose this game, coach, you are so fired. But the Chiefs get the ball, and I don't know. I forgot the running back name. So he runs the ball and fumble. I think it was Pacheco. Fumbles the ball, and I don't know to me, I thought his butt was down. Fumbled the ball, and it goes into because it goes into the back of the end zone or into the end zone. They lose possession on the ball. It becomes a touchback. Now, that's one of the rules I think is stupid. I think they need to change that to something. I don't know, but I just hope the rules committee can kind of get together and look at that. But do you recognize the play I'm talking about?
I do, and the thing is, they're looking at what caused the fumble and then what initially touched the ground.
Yes.
So it one of those things where does the elbow, the shoulder, the knee, the shin, what constitutes as him being on the ground first,
But
or the butt?
yeah.
Because sometimes the player's not down if his butt touches the ground and he rolls and like pops back up. Sometimes they don't call that as being down.
So they were saying that the ball was fumbled or coming loose, that the runner lost possession of the football prior to his hip coming down. So therefore, it was considered a fumble. But my whole point was, had they not fumbled that ball, I can see that, man, that coach would have been so fired because that was the bonehead call of the day. Because in a game like that, because I kept telling my kid who was watching the game when I said, this game is gonna come down to whichever guy have the ball last. Was it gonna be Mahomes or was it'll be my boy? Whoever has the ball last, I think their team is gonna be the one that's gonna win this game, man. But I was like, wow.
But also think about this: why in the hell did the Bills run a fake punt on fourth down?
Yes. Why? On your own 30-yard line, man. Kick the ball.
Bro,
Kick the ball.
kick the ball.
And
Let
because
them drop the
you're
field.
talking about Mahomes is dangerous enough if he got to go 100 yards on you. You talking about you're going to give the ball to this guy on your own 30? Come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, what do you think about the Motor City Kitties, man? Detroit.
Dan Campbell, best coach in the league. I'm throwing that out there. Like Dan Campbell, and this goes back to when they were on Hard Knocks. Dan Campbell is a great motivator, a player's coach, but he understands late game situation, and he's not afraid to bet on his players.
No.
Dan Campbell resurrected because Jared Goff was dead in the water at the point where this man should never play football in the NFL again.
I know.
Turned him around. They had a great draft.
Gave him some football love.
Bruh, great draft. Them getting Gibbs at running back and Laporte at tight end.
Yes.
Then they got the DB, and then they got the white boy at linebacker.
Yep.
Great draft. They have a great scheme. They know what they do well, and they're not afraid to hit you in the mouth.
And they got what's his name? The linebacker. Is it Hutchinson?
Yeah, the defensive end. Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hutchinson.
Great pickup as well.
Yes.
He's coming along.
And they have the Sun God on their team. Ahmad St. Brown, the Sun God.
Hey, first team All-Pro, baby.
Man, let me tell you something. It will not surprise me. I'm saying this. It will not surprise me if the Detroit Lions knock off the 49ers next week. And
it wouldn't because the day.
Huh?
Continue. Like I won.
Because Detroit played a whole. It wasn't one of those games where they just gonna gadget and win the game. Those last that game was pretty tight, but they took over that game within the last third, the end of the third, going into the fourth quarter, and it was all Detroit football, man. They didn't disguise it, they didn't trick it up. They ran the offense. They gave you a heavy dose of those players that you mentioned, Laporta, St. Brown, the other young guy receiver, the running back that they got from Alabama. Man, I tell you what, the Motor City Kitties look like they are coming to go to the Super Bowl. And you mixed up in the fact, and I always tell people, when you think about the 49ers, they say, well, hey, what about Brandon Ayuk? Yeah, okay, he's good. Then you think about the tight end that they got. Yeah, he's great. Then you think about the running back that they have. Yeah, but I'm going to tell you, brother, the straw that stirs the drink for the 49ers is Debo Samuels, and Debo is out.
Dude, man, he took an ugly hit, and it looked like it was like a concussion mixed with a shoulder stinger. It was tough.
And they're saying it's a shoulder, but he sets the tone as how your defense have to come out and play the 49ers, and that lets everybody else to kind of start doing what they do best. And I still say to this day, now I still say to this day, I don't believe Brock Purdy is the type of quarterback that if you need him to lead you to a victory, say coming from behind or whatever, I don't think he's the guy that can drive you, take you on a winning drive and win the game. I just don't. I just think now I'm not saying I think he's a bus driver. But is he a bus driver or is he a band director? There's a difference. Bus driver, all you do is open the door, let the kids in, don't wreck the bus, you good. But a band director, he makes sure that everybody is playing the same sheet of music, brother. I got the trump.
Hey man, look.
Uh-huh.
Hey man, Cam Newton told everybody, and they said Cam Newton was crazy.
What?
They said when Cam Newton said that he was a game manager, people looked at Cam Newton like he was stupid. Brock Purdy, how many All Pros does Brock Purdy have on his team? Like, come on, dude. You and I can go play quarterback for them and at least get something. But you see, when he played the Ravens, he got exposed.
Yes, because if you go up 10 points on the 49ers going into the fourth quarter, I think you beat them because he ain't the man that could just take them on and become that quarterback that can lead them to victory. I don't see it happening. Now, here's the thing, man. I wanna say this too. The Green Bay Packers are gonna be a team that nobody wants to deal with next year. Because remember I said there are certain teams that they're in that window when they have to get it done because there are a lot of young up-and-coming teams that are coming to try to knock them off the hill. Green Bay Packers are going to be one. The Houston Texans are going to be one. It's like, look, man, these guys are coming. You've got to, for those teams like the Ravens, Kansas City, Buffalo, Cowboys, look, you don't stay on top of the hill forever. Somebody's always trying to knock you off. You got to get it done.
Dude, next year, first of all, salute to the Green Bay Packers on it right for 3 straight quarterbacks.
Yes.
Like, salute to these cats. But whoever next year, that division better get ready. Because if the Lions ain't careful, Green Bay Packers could take that division next year.
I think for the next 3 years, it is going to be nip and tuck between the Packers and the Lions. I think in that division because they are both starting to be 2 good young teams, and man, they are really and truly bringing it, brother. They are. But let me transition a little bit. Even though we're talking football, but we got to talk nonsense too, because this is nonsense. Now, Brandon, you played some college football, and I need to ask you this question, brother.
Okay.
At what point, man, do mama start shooting off some hot HO's sports opinions about the players of the other team? Because I'll tell you where I'm going with this. CeeDee Lamb's mom started taking pot shots at Dak. Dak's brother started taking pot shots at the team and the fans and all. Man, look, now this is me. Now you could probably share a little bit more. That's why where I'm going with this. CeeDee's mom was talking about how terrible Dak played and how her son, how CeeDee didn't, Dak was the cause of CeeDee not having a good game, and in fact she wants CeeDee out of there because of Dak. and she want Dak gone. And then you had Dak's brother who's saying, hey, he want Dak to leave because of all the negative stuff that the fans are saying. But look, here's where I'm going with this, brother. If you are a parent, a family member, and your kid is in any type of pro sports, man, you got that comes with the territory, man. Now,
It's especially when you play for the Dallas Cowboys.
yes, yes,
And I hate that because if you're the parent, you don't have to suffer that consequence.
right,
But that could ultimately be the deciding factor in your family member or getting shipped out or not being able to put food on the table.
yeah, because mom,
Like
you,
don't it's not your position.
yeah. Well, there's an old saying, brother. You know, there is no I in team. Now, I don't give a fat rat's butt how well, how great mom thinks CD is. I guarantee you, CD can't throw the ball to himself and catch it. I've yet to see a receiver that can throw the ball to himself and run down and catch it. I've never seen any player that can offense that can function without a good offensive line. I've never seen any offensive team win the Super Bowl without a good defense. It's a team game. You know, when you win as a team, you lose as a team. And when you start pointing fingers, you make it hard for those guys to be in that locker room, man, because next thing they know, it's like, hey, man, is your mom going to be blasting me on social media? You know what I'm saying? Come on, mom. Be in the press. See, if you can't stand the way somebody's going to say something about your kid, as a parent, that goes with the territory, man. Stop reading all those things. You know, when you go to the game, don't sit in the press box somewhere where you don't have to hear all that. But they're going to ridicule you. You can't be thin-skinned as a parent.
No, it comes with the territory. Like it comes with Dennis Robin said you don't get paid for playing the game. You get paid for all the extra BS.
Yes.
Like that's what you get paid for. But like if you're on the top, what is it always said? To much is given, much is tested.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, what people don't understand, and you know, I'm much older than you, and I always say, look, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Okay. Now, in that, we don't care about your feelings. We don't give a crap about your family. You're getting paid this kind of money because you have a skill set that very few people have. And
Yes.
and the owners, the media, fans, we all pay to see that skill set. Now, we don't really care about you. I mean, and that's the business side. Nobody cares about you as a human being. And sometimes as
They
parents and
don't.
family members, they're your family. They love you. They're gonna love you through thick and thin. But fans stand for fanatics, and that's what we are. I mean, yeah, we love you when we win it, and when we don't, we're gonna boo you. We're gonna talk crap about you. We're gonna do a whole lot of other things. But at some point, mom and brother to realize, hey, you guys' name ain't on that contract.
Nope.
They're not signing for CD and family. They go play for the Cowboys. They're not signing a contract with CD and mom or Dak and brother.
Nope.
Nah, no. And another thing, and I'm not being critical of because I'm a Redskins fan, and I'm not saying this because I'm not hating, but I'm just saying this is just what I see. For example, now this is a podcast, and I can podcast all day long, but people are starting to say, "Well, Michael Parsons, why are you podcasting and going back and forth?" Because see, when you're winning, everything is great, but when you're not, people start to nitpick all the things that you're doing and try to say, okay, this is why we're not winning playoff games because Michael Parsons, you are not, your mind ain't on what it should be because he was going off about something that Skip Bayless said. And if anybody don't know who Skip Bayless is, he's one of the talking heads in sports. And Skip just likes to stir the pot. He's going to say things to be relevant to be pretty much argumentative to kind of keep things going. I mean, he has to have something to talk about. So Skip makes this comment about the Cowboys and basically, he's not gonna follow him anymore and all this good stuff. But Michael Parsons,
He kept.
yes. But I'm like, dude, you shouldn't even care about what Skip has to say, brother. Come on, man. So, and it may be a generational thing, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of touch with the way that today's modern athlete thinks, and because if you say something about me on social media, I got to respond. Maybe I don't know, brother. I just see it as what are you doing? What are you doing, man, dude? Get it because people are saying, Parson, get in your playbook because look at how you played in the game. Just saying, brother.
Look, because Michael Parsons, he always does this. The first half of the season, he's great. Second half of the season, he disappeared. So hey man, the stats are there.
Yes,
the stats are there. Where was Michael Parsons during that playoff game in the last couple games of the season?
Yep.
So if we want to go there, we can.
Yep.
We can.
Because I truly believe when you get to the playoffs, coaches job schemes and plans that put you in certain places, but I truly believe that when you get into the playoffs, playmakers make plays. Those who get paid or who get the recognition, they got to make plays. Yeah, coach told me to go this way, but I took an inside route because I thought I could get there and sack the quarterback. I made a play. I called from somebody had to make plays, and that's what's not happening with the Cowboys. That's not happening with a lot of other teams, bro. When you get to the playoff, you have to make plays. If you that quarterback and it's 3rd and 2, and coach call a pass play, but hey, you know what? I got to pick up this first down. I got to make a play so that we could keep the ball. That's what I'm not seeing happening. I'm seeing now. I see it happen with Lamar Jackson, but I'm saying that is what determines whether you're gonna have a chance to play in the Super Bowl or you go home, because we pay the superstar players to make plays. You gotta make plays, bro. Got to make plays, Brandon.
And that's the biggest thing. That's what separates the good from the great.
Yes.
And at the end of the game, can your stars on your team make those unscripted plays to go the extra mile?
Yes. And that's why when people look at CeeDee Lamb, didn't make enough plays, bro. Plain and simple. Michael Parsons didn't make enough plays, bro. You didn't. Jordan Love today, you made plays until you throw that interception. Look. And he's young. He'll learn from it. But that's the game. You got to make plays, bro. But hey, man, let me get somebody else in here, brother. Let me get you a word in for what you do.
Yes, sir. This is your boy Brandon Cooper, the Ravens extraordinaire. Next week, AFC Championship at 2:00 p.m. I will be watching it in Carrollton with the Ravens Club of Dallas. They meet in Carrollton at a bar, so I will be watching it with them next Saturday at 2:00 p.m. And Ravens flock. Lamar Jackson is proving everybody wrong. When he wins, the culture wins. Shout out to my boys, D1 Ignite University Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Apple Podcast.
All right, man. Thanks for calling, brother.
Yes, sir. No problem, man. Keep doing the work, my brother.
Yeah, all right, man. Thanks.
What's going on, my brother?
Sports therapy is my homeboy Glenn. Homeboy Glenn, what say ye, man?
Man, everything kicking and worked all day today. Got in and watched a little football.
Nothing like
Sitting
football.
there chilling.
Nothing like football, man. That's nothing like football. Playoff football at that. Playoff.
Sitting there chilling. Good playoff football this weekend. Enjoyed every game.
So, what do you?
I got one little gripe. I got one gripe to say before we get started.
Shoot.
I heard your sister was in town.
Oh yeah, my sister is here. Yep. My runaway sister
Don't
is
let
sitting.
her, don't let her get up there and spoil you.
Hey man,
Don't-
that's what family for, brother. That's what sisters are
That's
for.
right, brother.
Yeah, yeah. My sister's in town,
Tell I
man.
said hi for me.
All
Tell I
right.
said hi. Hurry up and come home.
All right, brother. Hey, Green
Yep.
Green Bay and the 49ers, man. Look, um, that was a good game I watched yesterday. Went to Buffalo Wild Wing. You know, usually when I'm not watching games at home, I like to roll out the B Dub and watch the game. Um, that game, I tell you what. So now let me say something to you because I know this gonna get you. This gonna get you in a mood. That's why I got the cussing bear right here. Cowboy fans are trying to justify their butt kicking by saying they wanted Green Bay to beat the 49ers so they can justify how bad they lost by saying Green Bay is a good team. That's why they beat them. Does that make sense?
Man, can you make a long story short? Dallas ain't shit. That's all it is. They ain't one for damn. They got their ass whooped. And I was listening to you talking to the gentleman a while ago about Michael Parsons
Yes.
complaining on podcasts.
Yeah.
See, that's what whiners do. Michael Parsons disappeared. And the gentleman was talking to you earlier. He told it just like it was. Michael Parsons disappeared in the second half of a playoff game.
He did.
Green Bay, I had forgot he was on the field, to be honest with you.
You know what I did, homeboy Glenn? I went back and I watched the entire game again because see, the first time I was watching it for, to be able to talk about on the show. That's the first time I watched it. So I said, okay, let me go back and look at it from a coach's point of view instead of from a fan's point of view so I can see what happened and what didn't happen. And what I saw when it came to Parson, I saw them run the ball at him. I saw Green Bay run the
That's
ball
right.
at him, and when
That's right.
when they didn't run it at him, they ran totally away from him. But there was some time when the running back ran right up the middle, right where Parson plays, and he did not make any plays. In other words, like I was telling Brandon from D1 Ignorant University, I said, Brandon, when you get down to the playoffs, superstar players have to make plays. I don't care what sport, was it basketball, football, track and field. When you are a superstar, the coaches can only put you in position to be successful. What separates you from a regular guy on the team is that you are a superstar. You have a skill set that's supposed to come shining through. So, in other words, Dak is supposed to, for the amount of money Dak getting paid, he's supposed to do a whole lot better than how he's playing. The amount of money that Michael Parsons make, you got to make some plays, Mike. You got to get in that backfield and call some fumbles. You got to do. You remember when the playoff was rolling around when the Cowboys had Charles Haley? Haley made plays. Did he not? He was a game wrecker.
It's like they're saying, and you're totally correct because, like the saying say, big time players step up in big time games.
Yeah, you got to be a game wrecker or a difference maker. You got to make a difference. Was it from the
right? You look at that game tonight.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sorry about cutting you off.
No.
Like you said, you look at whether you like Patrick Mahomes or whether you don't. Man, that guy is a winner, man.
He is a winner.
He know how to step up his game, man. Whether you like him or not.
And I'll give you a prime example. There was this one particular play where Mahomes was running the ball down the sideline, and he took the ball and ball fake dude. He ball fake dude with the ball, and the guy bit on it like he thought he was gonna pass it to somebody. And Mahomes caught it and ran it all the way down, and he kept running, so he ran the ball down to about the 20-yard line. He made plays. That's what he get paid to do.
He made plays, man.
You have to have guys on your team who we paid $1 million, who are the face of the franchise. They got to make plays. And if you're not making plays, then quit complaining. You can't be
That's
complaining if
right.
you're not making plays, and you can't get mad if somebody start calling you out and saying, "Hey," because as fans, we gonna be fans, bruh. you know,
That's
we
right.
we gonna be
And,
fans.
and, and you look at that. That's right. And you look at that game like tonight. Diggs from Buffalo, he got a bad habit of complaining and
Yep.
whining. But when you're in a big game like that, you didn't do nothing to set yourself up to try to make a
Nope.
difference in the game.
Nope. 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 Diggs
You
didn't.
know,
Dig
like you said, you look at Great Greenlaw. You look at Greenlaw last night.
made plays,
You
bro.
know, hey when the game got on the line, what they call him, a big play Drake.
Yes. Made that interception. Made two
Stepped up his
interceptions.
game.
You have got the
Yes,
playmakers, the guys who are the face of the franchise or the superstar players. When you get to the playoff, you got to make some plays. If you lose
you got to
and,
make
and,
plays.
and you say, "Hey, we lost the game," but this guy had two interceptions. He had some. Okay, you can say he did something. He showed up that day. But when you start to look at how Parson played, there were no plays. He didn't make any plays, man. And not just him. CD Lamb. CD, come on. And I was telling
I,
Brandon that CD Lamb's his mom is starting to call out Dak and saying Dak needs to go and CD can't, Dak is holding CD back and all that. And then you had Dak's brother saying Dak needs to leave because he's tired of the fans being negative and all that. Man, you getting paid millions of dollars, and at the end of the day, come on, mom. They're not hiring.
hey, don't they have earplugs?
Come on, mom. Because they,
Man,
huh?
to be honest with you, and this goes back what I always said, stuff like social media,
Yeah,
and all that different things like that. They got that now. If you had guys even like, I mean, just think. I mean, I'm gonna switch it up for a minute. Just think
mm,
for us, a guy like Jordan, one of the best basketball player ever. If
yes,
he was living in a time with social media now, he'll catch hell. He would catch hell too, man. It just people so sensitive these days. Like you said earlier, you made a lot of sense what you were saying about Michael Parsons. He got his podcast and everything.
yes,
Man, you should be concentrating on football instead of worrying about what the hell Skip Bailey, me, and anybody else say.
yes.
Cause
Have
we ain't doing nothing. We ain't got nothing. At the end of the day, we ain't doing it. We don't have nothing but an opinion.
and nothing. I'm podcasting from my house. I ain't got to
That's
be
what I'm
blocking
talking.
and tackling nobody. So I can sit here.
Uh,
My point of it is, if you're gonna podcast and then hey, to each his own. Might want to look at when the season is over, man. Hey, have the Michael Parsons show after the season or whatever. This is the whatever. But if you're podcasting and you're responding to things that fans and other news talking heads say, man, that kind of pulling you off sides, man. You kind of getting away from what you need to be doing.
right, but like I was telling a guy at work, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys football team, them and the Miami Dolphins, damn near identical. They good finesse team. They can beat up on mediocre team, average team, but they can't beat a good team.
True that.
They don't have Dallas don't have the Dallas don't really. At people say they got talent, in which they do at certain positions, but when it come down to playing a good football team, Dallas is mostly not too much talent. They don't have the talent to play with the 49ers or the Ravens or hey, they better watch out for Green Bay or in Detroit the next year because them teams are young.
Well, see, but
And Dallas getting
I got to disagree with you on one part of that because I don't think Dallas players are any more talented than anybody else. I think they blow them out of proportion because every team got at least 4 or 5 real good athletes on that team, and Dallas got about maybe 4 or 5 real good athletes on their team, but they ain't got some guy that if you took him off the Cowboys team, because there's a lot of the Cowboys, I don't think they would start for a lot of teams in the league. Some of them will, but some of them won't. But every team got you can hell the Steelers. You can name at least 4 or 5 good superstars on y'all team. Every team got at least 4 or 5 real good players. That's what the Cowboys got.
Man, we don't have a damn quarterback. Is anybody got a quarterback they want to rent out for 1 year?
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that because your coach said they asked him. Of course, you know he said he's coming back next year, which is good. So they asked the Steelers quarterback. I mean, the Steelers head coach about next year, and he says Kenny Pickney is going to be y'all's first day starter.
I think he's smoking. He
that's
got to be drinking.
that's what he said. He says Kenny Pickney is.
Man, if they don't go out, they better go and do something. I don't give a damn. They have to trade one of their.
Hey
They
man,
gonna have to do something if they need to go out the field, man.
hey man, let me tell you something. This is what I see. I got my crystal ball here, brother. And let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. And you gonna say, "Fa, you told me." This is gonna fall in y'all lap. Two things. Y'all gonna get one of these two quarterbacks, and this is what I'm thinking. The Bears are gonna hold on to that that first round draft pick, and they're gonna move around and pick Williams, and then that's gonna leave you guys with the opportunity. I guarantee you that Fields is gonna end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. If y'all don't end up with
And
him,
I hope
if y'all don't end up with Fields, y'all gonna end up with probably Russell from the Broncos.
Denver.
Yeah, I guarantee you that. Y'all gonna end up with one of those two.
And man, hey man, Russell Wilson about shot,
Yeah,
but I won't feel. I won't feel.
yeah, but I think at least Russell would be an upgrade from Kenny Pickett.
Man, he go get Casey Dick would be an upgrade over Kenny Pickett.
You
You
know,
go and get one of them sorry ass quarterback the Razorback got better than Kenny Pickett.
but that's what. But like I said, I just think because if you think about it, um, if the Bears make that move, which I think they are, everybody else is pretty much kind of set at quarterback, except for the Patriots. But they're gonna probably take one out of the draft. And
In Atlanta.
yeah,
Atlanta.
Atlanta. But like I said, I can see my boy falling to y'all. Yep. Yep.
Man, I hope. Hey, man, I hope so, man.
Yep.
Man, that's keeping us from going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I ain't gonna say he's gonna take us there the first year or two, but you give him time, give him about a year. Because the only thing he needs is a good coach, man. He's not a bad quarterback.
No. No. And the thing about it with the Bears just didn't have they didn't have offensive line for him. They didn't have no good receivers for him. And
No coach, no
nah,
general manager,
nah.
nothing like that. And you know the Barons fit to make one of the dumbest. That's why they always be in last place or third place in their division. Ain't no way in the hell I got the first pick, and I think they got the first
Yeah.
and number 9.
Something like that. Yeah. I know they got
Man,
first.
I will keep Fields. I will keep Fields. And I would make Marvin Harrison Jr. I know it might sound crazy. I would take a chance on him because you got DJ Moore there.
Right.
And on that number 9 pick, I would go after me a defensive edge rusher from Florida State or Alabama or UCLA.
Yep.
Them 3 edge rushers there.
Yep. That's
Because Caleb Williams is not no. Hey, I've been wrong a million times, and I'm gonna be wrong a million more times. But I just don't see Caleb Williams that much better than Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Now you all might end up with Kenny Pickney too. I mean, not Kenny Pickney. You all might end up with Michael Penix Jr. He might fall to y'all because I think he would fit
That
in
wouldn't be a
good.
bad idea.
I think he would fit in good with what you guys do too. Yep.
Hey, but the only thing about him, nothing. Hey, man, I think he's a good quarterback. He's a good athlete. He's a good kid. But you know, as a injuries, man. You know, you coming off of two ACLs, but then again, he's still young.
Right.
But man, them ACLs ain't no joke though, man.
No. No. As long as he learn how to stay in that pocket and throw it and maneuver in that pocket and throw that ball, because he has a quick release. So I think he's gonna be fine on the next level. To be honest with you, I think he's gonna be okay. So hey, brother, what about Chiefs and Bills, man? What about Chiefs and Bills? Now, truth be told, homeboy Glenn, I was rooting for the Bills only because you remember the Bills went to the Super Bowl what 4 times in a row and lost.
What time in a row?
And so there's a part of me wanted to see the Bills get to the Super Bowl. But man, and that game to me, I knew it was gonna come down to which team was gonna have the ball last. And I was telling Brandon, I said, man, one of the most bonehead coaching plays I ever seen was it was a 4th and 5. And the Bills coach McDermott decide he's gonna go for it with a trick play on their own 30-yard line, and they didn't make it.
Yeah, go for a
Yeah,
fake punch, wasn't it?
yes. I like he.
Man, what's wrong with them guys,
I
man?
like man. He is so fired. The only problem was
But yeah, but you know, man, to be honest with you, Baltimore better kind of watch the Chiefs, cause the Chiefs, whether you like them or not, they tough, man. But it ain't gonna make no difference. The way Baltimore playing, man, do you see? Man, they were interviewing Lamar Jackson today, and man, that guy got arms like a linebacker, man.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Man, yeah, man, I'm talking about he's so freaking built. So man, I'm talking about Baltimore ready, man. Hey, it's gonna be hard to beat them, man, with that defense and the way Lamar Jackson playing. Man, I can see them winning two or three Super Bowls, man. I'm serious, man.
I think at the beginning of the game, they seemed like they was a little bit rusty in the first half because they had been off, and then again, Houston was playing above their head, and because Houston didn't have anything to lose, man. CJ shouted the boys, man. They were like, "Hey, we free and loose." They were hanging at halftime, and then at the beginning of the third quarter, Baltimore came out and kind of handled up on them. But I'm like you, I think that I think Baltimore is definitely the team to beat. But
they the team to beat, man.
But I'm gonna tell you something, homeboy Glenn. It would not surprise me if Detroit beat the 49ers next week.
I was just fit. Hey man, hey, you think I'm just lying? I was just fit to get ready to. I was just fit to get ready to tell you that Detroit is man. I don't know why they don't give Goff the credit he deserves. Man, Goff is a hell of a quarterback to me. Always have been. You know, even when he was with the Rams and they lost in the Super Bowl, and Coach McVay got rid of him. And I think it was the next year.
Yep.
And they come back and won. But man, he fit that system perfect over there, Detroit, man.
Only reason I say that is because Detroit, they stick with the run game, and that's how you play the 49ers. You got to have a run game. And if you get ahead, I just don't think Brock Purdy is the type of quarterback that can kind of lead a team from behind. I just think he's a good bus driver. But my rationale for saying what I'm saying is because I always tell people, the 49ers got Brandon Ayuk, they got Kittles, the problem is, to me, if you remove one player off that team and they're a whole different team, and I think that Debo got hurt.
Debo, he got hurt yesterday. And man, I'm gonna tell you, man, Detroit can get in the trenches and get nasty with you too. You know, man, that defensive tackle lineman they got Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Man, that dude is a beast, man.
Because he came through.
That young man is a beast.
He came through, man, and sacked he sacked Baker Mayfield. And when they could have had a field goal, and that's what I'm saying, when when you are a star, you got to make plays. So he came through with a
Yeah,
sack that threw them out of field goal position, and that was a key play in the game. And it kind of
and,
yeah. You got to make
and
plays, bro.
another thing about Detroit. Yeah, another thing about Detroit, man, I like that running back they got from Alabama.
Yes.
That man and them wide receivers is nice too, man.
Yes, and the thing about it is that toward the end of the game, we talk about the latter part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they just came out and beat Tampa Bay. They didn't trick it up. They didn't rely on gadget plays. They came out, they ran their offense, their defense got together, and they went up by 2 touchdowns, and they just basically beat them. And that's why I just think,
man, I tell you what though, man, it might sound crazy me saying this, but Tampa Bay is not too far away.
No.
They is not too far away now.
Nah.
And they had a lot of guys got hurt this evening. They had a lot of guys got hurt today. And if the main guys had to stay healthy, it might have been a little different.
Now the thing about it though is that Baker Mayfield, I like Baker, but the problem for me now, is can you win a Super Bowl if you got a gunslinger quarterback? Yeah, he's gonna do some good things, but that one interception is always around the corner. That one interception that's gonna blow the game, and it happened today while Tampa Bay was trying to make some type of comeback, and Baker throw that interception, man, because I mean he's a gunslinger. That's who he is.
It's what he is. He's a gunslinger. And when he's slinging that ball, sometimes it's good.
Yeah.
But like you said, sometimes he makes that one play. It might cost you.
It's gonna cost you. Well, hey, my brother, it's time to bring the show to an end, my friend. Appreciate you calling. And hey, you
Tell Hazel, come on, man.
You about to hear the sound of my music. All right, once again, this has been another episode of Sports Therapy with F.A. Jr. I'd like to thank my homeboy Glenn for calling in. I'd like to thank my boy Brandon from D1 Ignorant University, big-time Raven fan. I'd like to thank those who call in and listen to my show on a regular basis. We got Jay in Grand Prairie and the Country Kenneys in Arkansas, those in Louisiana, and those in the Metroplex. It helps me to be me and helps to make sports therapy a success. And last but not least, I'd like to thank those who attend the University of Arkansas, where all my taxpaying dollars go to. And I always say on the yard, stay golden, baby. Be true to yourself. We will see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.